Okay, good evening, guys. Let's see how many people slack off during the school holidays. It's good to have you awesome people here. Cool. Okay. Sit up. Oh, somebody else coming along. Sit up. Come here. Taekwon. Raise your right hand and recite the tenets. Shijok, courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. And the student oath. Yesok, I shall observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I shall respect the instructor and seniors. I shall never misuse Taekwondo. I shall be a champion of freedom and justice. I shall build a more peaceful world. Bottle. Okay, come forward to the screen for a minute. I'm going to do something different. Where are we? I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to test you. Okay, you can unmute yourselves and see how you go answering some questions for me. What does that say?
Taekwondo.
Oh, yeah, start with an easy one. Give you a false sense of security. Okay, in what language?
Korean.
Okay, cool. What's the Korean alphabet called? Hangul. Who's credited with creating it? It was apparently created by King Sejong.
King Sejong.
One of our patterns, the 23rd pattern of Taekwondo, is called Sejong, named after King Sejong, who created the Korean alphabet. One of the cool things I think about Hangul is that the vowel characters, the way they're drawn is the shape that your tongue makes in your mouth when you make the vowel sound. I think that's really awesome. Okay, so question 2. What does that say?
I can't read Korean.
It's Chinese.
Oh, fudge, I can't read Chinese.
It says Taekwondo.
Oh,
It says Taekwondo in Chinese characters. Now, many of the Asian cultures, as a form of art, they do Chinese calligraphy. The Chinese culture is very influential right throughout Asia. So this is why Taekwondo calligraphy is often written in Chinese characters. So General Che was actually quite a famous calligrapher. And so that's Chinese Taekwondo in Chinese characters. Incidentally, I know that little thing in the middle there, that looks like a J with a couple of lines through it, that's the Chinese character for hand. Okay, so that's the character meaning Kwon. And the leftmost character, the piece on the left that's got a box and then the 2 lines with a line underneath it, that's the Chinese character for foot. So you've got Tae, Kwon, and then that's the art away, the door. Okay, next question. What's that?
A book?
Yes, it's a book.
Oh, that is the book that you showed us that we should get. That's like the original Taekwondo foundation or something. All the information is in there.
If you can get hold of it, this is the condensed encyclopedia of Taekwondo, 1999. If you get one that's got green across the top here instead of blue and across the bottom, then it's just an earlier edition probably from 1991 or 1993. Also very worthwhile having. Goes through pretty much everything you need to do in Taekwondo in one book. As you can see, it's very thick. Very cool book to have. Harder to find these days. Okay, what's this?
Are those all like the syllabus books? Like the self things?
Other thoughts?
So it looks like it might be a magazine.
Absolutely. This is Taekwondo Talk magazine. It's the national magazine of our organization has now gone digital, but PDFs of the old magazines are available on our website. So if you Google Taekwondo Talk New Zealand, you'll get a link to it. You'll find the back issues. So if you're looking for something to do over the holidays, you just want some light reading, download one of these magazines and have a read through it. There's some really cool articles. There were some regular features that we had where we had little free sparring sequences and self-defense sequences and things, and different articles about Taekwondo and about events that happened around the time. So you can see, for example, this one in May 2011 was after the Taekwondo World Championships in 2011, which were held in Wellington. And then you can see up here in July 2015 was from another World Championships. You can also see the one from when our self-defense syllabus was released in July 2014. So there's a whole lot of really cool articles in there. So all the PDFs are for free on our website. This is at itekad.co.nz. But if you just Google Taekwondo Talk back issues, you'll get hold of it. What's that a picture of?
Is that the lake where Choi Hong Hee first stood in?
You thinking about this book?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. What lake is it?
It's like representing like Chonji, I'm pretty sure.
It is Lake Chonji.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Lake Chonji. So does anyone know what mountain it's on?
Japanese mountain?
No, it's in Korea.
Okay. Is it a Korean mountain?
It is a Korean mountain. It's Baekdu Mountain in the top of North Korea. You can see where that star is in the map. That's where the location is. It's now in what's now North Korea, right at the top, Baekdu Mountain. And the kind of think of Lake Chonji as kind of reflecting the heavens and being really close to the heavens. The lake's actually a caldera, which so Baekdu Mountain erupted in 946 AD. And so this lake is the lake that formed inside the crater of the mountain. Okay, so that's Lake Chonji. Okay, who's this?
I was gonna say General Choi Hong Hee.
Yes, it is. Anyone that got that wrong got slapped. A virtual slap. That's right. That's General Che. What techniques are you doing?
So my fan guarding block
Yes, what stance?
doesn't look long enough to be maybe rear foot stance.
It's a rear foot stance, knife hand guarding block. Is it a right rear foot stance or a left rear foot stance?
Left, I think.
Ah, yes, well done, because his left leg has the most weight. Good. Rear foot stance is a blue belt technique. So for those of you who haven't reached blue belt, it's okay. Who's that? Couldn't find an action photo of him, unfortunately. That was big enough.
So my thing's lagging behind. Still hasn't appeared yet.
Hasn't appeared yet?
I have never seen this person before.
Ooh.
He must seem very famous, but I just don't know who he is.
Is he the founder of Taekwondo New Zealand, sir?
No. He's German, as a hint.
Oh, then he's the founder of Taekwondo in German.
No, he's not actually.
Oh, okay.
Germany was one of the 9 founding countries of the ITF back in the 60s. So he would have started quite early, but not that early.
Is he like a news reporter that goes to like dojans and like reports about the Taekwondo and how it goes?
Good guess, because of the microphone, but no, that microphone was for teaching a large seminar. He's the president of the ITF.
Oh.
That is Grandmaster Paul Weiler from Cologne in Germany. He's the president of the International Taekwondo Federation. Okay, who's this?
I've seen him a few times actually. Is he on like the Zoom call, like the recorded Zoom calls and the website?
Yeah.
So, Master McPhail.
That's Master Paul McPhail. Yeah, he is an 8th degree black belt. He's the technical director for New Zealand, and he's also on the ITF technical committee. So he travels around the world teaching international instructors courses quite frequently, although not at the moment, of course, because we're all locked in our houses. He's also my instructor. I've got a school in Papakura and teaches it and runs Warrior as well.
Wow.
Okay, who's this?
I don't know.
Can you
I
guess from the theme of the statements that of the things that we've got, people we've got so far?
He must be. Well, I think his belt say something of the 7th grade. I think.
No, his belt doesn't say that, but he is now.
Okay, I was just guessing.
He was a 4th degree when that photo was taken.
Whoa.
That was, I think, in Poland in 2003. Any thoughts on who it might be? He's from Wellington.
Is he in like a national like Taekwondo fighter?
He's our president. This is the president of International Taekwondo Foundation of New Zealand, Master Gray Patterson. He's a 7th degree black belt. He's a former world champion. That photograph was taken when he was 4th degree world champion in Poland in 2003, which was the first time I think New Zealand got a senior medal at the World Championships from memory. We had a junior medal slightly before that. The first time we got a senior gold medal. We had senior medals. Our first senior medal was in 1994 in Malaysia. The first senior gold medal was this one, I believe.
So what belt is he now? He's still black, but like what?
He's a 7th degree black belt.
7th, okay.
Okay. What technique is this? Easy question.
Side piercing kick.
Sorry, Mr. West.
Wait, no, that's not side piercing. That's reverse turning kick.
Close.
Not reverse hooking then.
I can see where you would have come from that, but think a little bit easier.
What is the kick that you're
So,
type of
side kick.
It's not a side kick. Look how his bum's
Oh, turning kick.
It's a turning kick. Yes. I can. So the reverse turning kick, reverse hooking kick could still have a photograph like this, although it's much harder to take a photograph. But this is a photo of a turning kick. You can tell from the V shape that his body is folded into. Okay, that's definitely a turning kick. What about that one?
Side piercing kick.
That's a side piercing kick. Who is it?
Um,
No.
Mr. Dunningham.
No.
Who could be?
That's Mr. John Sorden. He's originally from Tauranga, lived in Auckland for many years, and now runs one of our clubs in the Waikato. He's a beekeeper by trade. His parents were beekeeper, or his dad was a beekeeper, but for a long time in Auckland, he had a roofing business, and a lot of the people that he trained as roofers still work in the roofing business. A lot of our Taekwondo people that he took on as contractors still do roofing. But his name is John Sorden. He's a really amazing practitioner, a lovely guy. As you can see, very strong and flexible. That foot sword position is just amazing. In fact, I've got a photo of him somewhere from years and years ago. If you know the playground in Cornwall Park down by the Sky Dome, there's a set of swings. And I've got a photo of him somewhere standing on the metal bar at the top of that set of swings, doing a turning kick higher than that. Because he's a nutter. Who's this?
I don't know, but that just looked really uncomfortable in the stance he is.
What kick is it?
Petro Shagi.
Yes,
Twisting kick.
Shaggy. It's a twisting kick. So who is it? Mr. Saunders, you must know that one.
I don't actually recognize him.
Oh,
I feel like I do, but I also don't like. Then no names come up in my head, but I feel like I recognize him.
that is Mr. Mark Trotter.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that.
Mr.
Yeah.
Trotter is one of our top coaches. He's also multi-time former world champion, particularly in 4th degree patterns and in pre-range free sparring. He was a pre-range free sparring world champion multiple times, both with his original partner Luke Trotter and then with his second partner, Mr. Carl Van Roon. So he's been world champion in that event 3 or 4 times, I think. I can't remember exactly how many. He's also an amazing free sparrer. I can't remember I think he might have topped out at silver in under 54. and free sparring. I'm not sure whether he actually ever managed to get the gold, although he was really hoping, that was a big goal for his for many, many years. So he's an amazing coach and a really good practitioner. He's also a stuntman. So if any of you have heard of the Daniel Radcliffe film Guns Akimbo, he was Daniel Radcliffe's stunt double.
How do you do that kick?
We can do it later and find out.
Okay.
Okay, what's this?
Bending stancer.
Bending stance.
Really stance type
What?
A, I think.
Type A, bending ready stance type A. That's right. Who is it?
Don't know.
She is a New Zealand master. That photo was probably taken in Papamoa, and that mountain in the background is probably Mount Maunganui. She's competed at the World Championships for both England and for New Zealand.
When?
2000s, I think. So her competition period.
Okay.
She's also the only female master in our organization.
Really?
Yeah.
Why don't we
So
have
far.
more?
So far, we'll get more.
I think it's mainly just the time, because you need to be 7th degree or above to be a master.
Yeah, okay, true.
So.
And there is less women doing Taekwondo and
They're actually not that well. There are fewer, but it's about a third of our membership. So about a third of our members are female, but it's the ability to stay. And so there are some things that kind of interrupt people's training careers. And also, we've actually had a large number of female athletes who just stopped at first, second, or third degree, competed at the World Championships a number of times. We've had a number of female world champions, but no one has apart from this is Master Christine Young, but no one apart from Master Young has actually made it all the way through to 7th degree yet.
So what do you think are the reasons why, like, example, the female do not continue?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Why do you think is the reason, for example, that females do not continue in their grades?
It's various reasons. I think it's why do people not continue more than just women. It's often with other interests, but people that do stick at martial arts and stay for 10 or 20 years, sometimes it's old age, because you need to be doing Taekwondo for about 30 years before you can get to 7th degree. So old age sometimes gets in the way. It can be family, so people stopping to raise children and so forth, and of course that's particularly hard on women who are the ones that are giving birth. Although it's not uncommon for women to be pregnant, train until they're about 8 months pregnant, have the child, and then get back to training. We've have lots of women over the years that have done that, but that can be a real challenge. And you get family situations where if you've got both people training, once they get a family, of course only one can go to training while the other one's at home. And it's not uncommon that in a Taekwondo couple, the senior of the two people is the male, and the male will go and teach classes and so forth. And the woman who's home with the family, of course, her training's interrupted for a number of years while the children are young. So there are a number of reasons, but we'll get there. But traditionally, I think traditionally, of course, Taekwondo was a male-dominated martial art, as most martial arts were. Because it was military, it came up through the Korean Army, and then it was introduced to the US Army, and the Army, of course, has been very male dominated for a very, very long time, and it's slowly changing now, but they've still got far fewer women than men. So in the 50s and 60s, when Taekwondo was coming up and getting these early masters, they were all men. There weren't any women at all. And the early students as well were sort of young military type males. And that's why there are traditionally fewer female masters, because it takes so long, and it means somebody would have to have been in Taekwondo for about 30 years. So there's nothing to stop women from becoming masters, and we'll get more and more of them now that this generation is kind of growing and getting older and training together. So there will be more and more female masters, and there are female grandmasters globally. There are also a lot of female masters around the world. It's just that in New Zealand, it's a much newer martial art. We've only been here since 1970, so only sort of 41 years in New Zealand.
Wow.
Okay. There we go. That was my little quiz to start the session off. With one other minor change, important point to cover. This is that book I showed you before, the Taekwon-Do Encyclopedia. You can see it's nice and thick. So when you buy this, you get your money's worth. Very good for multiple purposes. What's on page 42? Everyone should know what's on page 42 of the condensed encyclopedia.
The training secret?
The training secret of Taekwondo, of course. It's easy to remember. Why is it easy to remember the number 42?
Because it's the answer to the universe or something
Yeah,
like
of course.
that.
It's the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Who didn't know that? Oh, really?
I've
Wow,
never
you've got some reading to do. You got to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's just essential reading for every person. Every person who breathes should have read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or should be reading it now. So read that book. Page 42, Meaning of the Life, Universe, and Everything, Training Secret of Taekwondo. Okay, who can give me some of the elements of the Training Secret of Taekwondo?
breathing.
This is so yet number 9. Exhale briefly at the moment of each blow, except in connecting motion. The Saunas.
So learning the theory of power.
Number 1, to study the theory of power thoroughly. Good. What else? Feel free to throw some guesses in there.
To understand the purpose of each movement.
Lovely. Number 2, to understand the purpose and method of each movement clearly. Every movement in your patterns has a purpose. Why are you doing it? Understand why you're doing it. And if you understand why you're doing it, then it'll make sense how you do it. Okay. What else?
So studying the theory and like the art side of the martial art.
No, because the training secret's all around the practical side, all around the physical stuff, not about the morality and so forth. But so that's a really good point. Good thought. Isabel.
Keeping arms and legs slightly bent.
Oh, lovely. Number 7? No, number 6. Keep both arms and legs bent slightly while the movement is in motion. So all your backward motion, intermediate position, arms and legs slightly bent. Yes, ma'am. Miss
I'm
Olivia.
taking a guess because I don't know, but the breathing technique.
The breathing, you've already covered that. Number 9.
Oh.
Exhaling briefly. Yep, cool. That was I'm sure you said it too. What else have we got? Yes, Isabel.
Using the appropriate tools.
Oh, very nice. To choose the appropriate attacking tool for each vital spot. Kelsey.
Can I ask, where do we get this information?
Okay, where you get this information
Yes.
in this book, page 26.
Ah, okay.
Oh, you haven't read the book. Oh,
I did read it, but
we
I
spent all that time writing it.
I think I just forgot about that page.
Now, what else have we got?
Using sine wave.
Yes, number 8, to create a sine wave during the movement by utilizing the knee spring properly. Any others we can get? I gave one of them away before.
So using backward motion in
Yes,
each technique.
all movements must begin with a backward motion with very few exceptions. However, once a movement is in motion, it should not be stopped before it reaches the target. Number 7.
So have we done everything must like finish at the same moment?
We have not. Excellent. To bring the movement of eyes, hands, feet, and breath into a single coordinated action. So everything finishes together. Doesn't mean that everything starts together, as we've explored over the last few sessions, where you explode, you have your core move first, and then your extremities catch up. Isabel.
To become familiar with angles and distances.
Oh, I think you might be looking at it, yeah? Awesome. Oh, good, nice. To become familiar with the correct angle and distance for attack and defense. So very small movements and angles can open up targets very importantly, and getting the right angle for attack makes your technique more effective rather than glancing, getting straight into the target. I think we've only got one more. Have we? No, I think that might be everything. Do we create a sine wave during the movement by utilizing a knee spring properly? I don't think we got that. Did we get that?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that might be all of them. Good. Awesome. Remember page 26 of this book. If you can get a copy of this, grab it. It'll cost a couple $100. It's just got everything you need to know from Taekwondo on it. And the one with the green cover, they're just as good. There's the only differences between the green cover and this one. So the one with the green stripes instead of the blue is that it's got the blue one's got corrections to some of the movements and the patterns. But all the other stuff, and this has got a couple of new photographs correcting like the back piercing kick and Chung Nu and a couple of other photographs in there. But it's practical. There's very little technical stuff in it, and I think pretty much all of the differences you will find the corrected in this book, the pattern workout book. So if you happen to get a green copy of this, go for broke and grab it. Okay, now before we stand up, by popular request, that is, Miss Olivier said that looks hard, let's do it. So sitting down cross-legged, reach back, put your hands behind you. Wow, if we start this for half an hour, it'd be comfy. Oh, hang on now. I'm just going to let someone in. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now from here, whatever foot's in front, keep it on the same angle it is and straighten it. Straighten the leg. Keep the foot and the leg on the same angle. When you do that, you might feel a twinge on the outside of your leg. That's okay. Don't panic about it. But the key thing is to keep that foot turned over. Don't let the foot stick up like this. You want to keep it turned over. So same position it was when you crossed your legs. That's the motion of the twisting kick. As you do it, I want you to turn your shoulders in the opposite direction. So when you're kicking with your right leg, I'm going to turn my body slightly to the left. Cool, okay. Change your feet over. That'll get uncomfortable if you only sit one way. You go, oh man, that feels weird. Feel weird for anybody? Okay, now take the front leg and do the same thing. So keep that foot turned over. And then try and turn the shoulders the opposite direction as you kick. That foot turned over. Keep with the ball of your foot. Okay, now from here, switch over again. When you go straight out about the height of your hip, that's a low twisting kick, and it's done in front of you. Low twisting kick is done to the front. When you go shoulder height, it's at 45 degrees, and it's a middle twisting kick. This is a middle twisting kick. When you go a high twisting kick, is done to stand for somebody behind you. So it comes up behind you here. It's the same motion. It's still got that same twisting action. So try that. Low in front, middle, 45 degrees, high behind you. Try that with both legs. Low, middle, twist the shoulders, high. Tricky. Low in front, middle 45 degrees, shoulder height, and high up, kind of behind you here. Yeah. Tricky. Okay, enough of that. Let's loosen up a little bit. And then we'll just set some of those standing up. Okay, just loosen your joints off quickly. Wrists, elbows. Change direction. Arms back. forwards. It's also, have they announced, does anybody know what the, are we still in level 3 or have they lowered us for some bizarre reason to level 2?
We are still in level 3, but they have added a few things. Like example, we can go for picnics, but only 10 people can get together. 2 people from different, well, 2 groups, family, I think, if I'm right.
Okay, so we can get together in groups of 10. Is it a limited bubble as it was last time, or is it any 10 people together?
10 people together.
Oh,
Correct.
Yes, so I think it's 10 people together, but you have to be outside.
yep.
Oh, yeah, you can't be inside anymore. You can't be in the house and be together. You can only be outside.
Okay, that's kind of cool. So you get together with some friends in the park. Oh, and I take it when we get together with friends in the park, we have to wear masks and stuff. And
Yes, sir.
do we have to social distance when we're meeting friends for a picnic?
I believe so, sir.
So does that mean we're not allowed to share our food and throw around a rugby ball?
It's a bit more restricted than that. It's 2 households, no more than 2 households
No more than 2 households. Okay.
at any one time, maximum of 10 people.
Oh, which means we can't even get little groups together to train in the park.
Nope.
Change direction. It's like there's fewer than 10 of us here. It's like, we can go to video 3. No.
Unless you're
huge
really
household.
far apart.
Sorry?
Unless you are really, really far apart,
Yeah.
eventually.
It's been done. Did you have anything in particular you wanted to do today, Dr. B?
Oh, no, not in particular.
Right. Open it up to the floor.
We could pick at random a page in the encyclopedia and see what to do.
Yes. That's a great idea for a lesson plan.
Okay, let me
That's
grab
random page.
my.
Oh, you got the blue one.
Yeah, I have the 15 volumes too.
The green cover or the blue cover?
The 15 volumes?
The green cover or the blue cover?
Green.
Green.
So, where do you think we can find the green cover books?
It's really these days you want to look at Trade Me, eBay. Try the suppliers like Mighty Fist and Fujime. They may have a few. So yeah, it's worthwhile trying them, but these days secondhand might be the easiest way to get them.
Okay.
So who's picking a number?
Actually, just before, if you I'll see whether I can show you my my little bookshelf. So you can see there's the 15 volume green cover.
Yep.
Here's the 15 volume blue cover. Here's the blue cover condensed. Down there are my green cover condensed and some of the earlier ones. So there's like the 1980, the 1972. That's my original encyclopedia, that one there that's been signed by the general and a whole lot of other people from 1991. And then there's the Taekwondo Talk magazines and some other books and stuff there. So that's my Taekwondo bookshelf. Plus some videos at the top. Okay, now let's get the legs a little bit warm from here, just nice and gently. Front snap kicks, each leg. I went through a period must have been 10 years ago, early days of Trade Me, where I just jumped on Trade Me. I was looking for everything with Taekwondo and going through all the old uniforms and things to find the odd book that was listed. So I got some really cool books that way. I think my most expensive was the 1969 Taekwondo Encyclopedia. You got paid like 150 US or something on eBay, or 170 US or something.
Sir, do you have the blue uniform?
Oh no. Okay, now just lightly turning kicks, just bell tied. Just watch your foot angles. And yop chagi.
Liam, try to chamber a little bit more. At the moment, you're flicking your leg up.
Bring that knee up.
Pump, pump, pump more.
Load the knee and pierce. Load the knee and pierce, Liam. Knee up. With your yop chagi, you should feel up, out. You should feel that flow, up, out. So it should feel like a stamp. Bit more, Liam. Imagine you're trying to step over a bowler or a ball. Like that knee rotation at the start of class. Okay, come on. Now let's play with Bitro Chagi. From here, knee comes up, then you go into that like cross-legged position. And then from there, extend out and back. Remember your shoulders turn the opposite direction. Look at your foot angle, make sure you're turning your foot over. Just start low. Otherwise, we get a little bit lazy and just do middle, which often feels easier. First time this is performed in a pattern is at first degree, and it is a low kick. And in fact, often when you do a low kick in patterns, you pause it for a split second like a side kick. So bring that foot over. Now try your shoulder height 45 degrees. So we're going to turn the foot, turn the shoulders the opposite way. Nice, Mr. West. Nice, Isabel.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
how am I able to do the kick without doing the kick and just stretching the leg so that it actually, because my left leg won't kick. It's just the right leg. I don't know how to stretch it.
Yeah, it doesn't behave. I understand. What's the best thing? The best thing I find to do with this kick is if you've got a little concrete wall or a hard wall outside, just touching the wall this way, putting your hand on the wall, because a lot of it's mental. It's just psychosomatic. And, oh, I can't do this. It's going to hurt. It's weird. So just trusting yourself to reach out and touch that wall. If you haven't done the other leg, do the other leg. Start low again. Often the low twisting kick is targeted at a little nerve cluster on the inside of the thigh. A little cluster in here. So a little bit higher, around here by the groin. Smack in there nice and hard with the twisting kick. And middle. Just go low if you're having trouble turning the foot over. Even go knee height. It's fine. Just work on turning that foot. If you're really keen, as Mr. S is, go high. It's a really nice kick from here. Boom. It's quite deceptive. As you're coming inside the guard at an unusual angle. Snap out and back. Okay, and come on, grab a drink. Any questions about that?
For that kick, that is for a green belt. If that I have to study, right?
I think it's blue belt, blue stripe.
Oh, I thought shooting kick was for green belt.
Can anyone correct me? I haven't got the syllabus book open.
I don't have the book.
Sorry, I was just wondering because
That's a good question. Have you found it, Dr. V? Is it green belt or blue stripe?
No, I don't have the book.
Okay,
with
one
me.
moment. It's worth me digging into this, Miss Olivia. It's quite important thing for you to know.
sorry.
No, not at all. Sorry, I don't know it off the top of my head. Technical.
Let's see if maybe I have an old.
I got it here, sir.
I have an old edition, so
Yeah, so Miss Olivia, you've got downward kick, pick, shape kick, reverse turning, and reverse hooking. They're your four green belt.
Yep.
And then back piercing kick for green stripe. And then blue stripe is where you've got back snap kick, side pushing kick, vertical kick, inward and outward, and twisting kick. So it's blue stripe.
Oh, I thought twisting kick was for green belt, and I was like, I can't do this.
Okay. In that vein, and in the idea, in the thought pattern of giving you guys something a bit more challenging than we give everyone else, who can tell me some different ways of doing a turning kick? What sort of variations can you come up with? Field, stand up and show me as you say it. Just unmute yourself so you can talk as you do it.
Instep or shin.
Oh, lovely. We're straight into tools. Instep, shin. What other tools can you use for a turning kick?
All of your
Toes.
base one, but you could use the knee.
Knee, ball of foot, toes. I think we've got them all. Awesome. So a turning kick can be done with your toes, and it specifically says with the toes when wearing shoes, with the ball of the foot, with the instep, which we define as the top of the foot, with the shin, and with the knee. Incidentally, you can use the same tools for front snap kick and for twisting kick. Okay, so all of those tools: toes, ball of the foot, instep, shin, knee. Think of that more. They're all used for the front snap kick, turning kick, and twisting kick. Okay, what about side piercing kick? What variations of side piercing kick do you know?
Well, the height, low, middle, high, and then
Sorry, I will correct my question, Mr. West, to make it more easier to answer. What different types of side kick do you know?
side pushing kick.
Side pushing kick,
So side pressing kick, side checking kick.
Side turning kick. Side front snap kick.
Piercing kick?
sorry, what was that one, Mr. Levere?
Side piercing? I don't know if someone did
Yep,
that.
side piercing kick, side turning kick, side front snap kick. Yep, what else we got? There's one other major one that we haven't heard yet. Two other major ones. One that's a yellow stripe.
Side turning kick.
Side turning kick we've got. Yellow stripe technique. Defensive.
Oh, side twisting kick.
Side rising kick, sir.
Got the side rising kick. And then one other major one that we use for side kick is side thrusting kick. So side piercing kick, of course, you're smashing this way. Side pushing kick, very much the same motion, but you're doing it more with strength and a longer breath to push someone away. Side rising kick, rises, the leg rises up nice and straight. Side turning kick, side front snap kick, although that's a side front rather than a side kick. And the other one that we didn't capture is side thrusting kick. Okay, side thrusting kick uses the ball the same foot position as front snap kick. Thrusts in this one. And then, of course, we've got flying variations and all that sort of thing. Twin foots, flying horizontal, double, flying horizontal, triple, flying vertical, double, flying vertical, all that sort of stuff. Cool. Okay, so lots of variations there. Let's get up and play with some. Okay, so let's run through front snap kicks to kind of for each leg of each of the variations you can remember. Toes, ball of the foot, instep, shin, knee. Go. For each leg of each one. Remember to use the hip. Now the instep and the shin don't go forward as much as the toes and the ball of the foot. They come more upward. Use your imagination as to what the target's going to be for these ones.
All right. I was just about to ask that, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes, so toes and ball of the foot go forward to kind of smash in forwards into the target. But instep and shin have to come upward. And they tend to come up between the legs. This way.
So, are you pulling your toes out of the way or not?
When you kick with the instep, of course, you have to push the toes forward because you're kicking with this piece here. So the
And what do
instep motion is this way. When you're using your shin, it's not so important. And you can almost keep your foot this way because you're coming up with this part of your shin here, your tibia. So it's you kind of just have a rigid ankle.
And where are we kicking the opponent? Ah, okay. Okay.
The knee returns to more of that inward motion this way. Goes in. Same as the toes and the ball of the foot. So the flow is very similar for all 5 variations, except that the shin and the instep come upward a little bit more, whereas the other 2 are up and moving forward. And it's really just a function of your distance. The kick at the foot position changes. The kick motion doesn't change very much, but as you get closer, you're naturally going to hit earlier here. And if further away, you're going to get them with the tool in the later part of the kick. Feel that front snap kick with the knee. It's a lovely kick. That's not, of course, what you're doing in Tae-Ge. In Tae-Ge, you're doing an upward kick with the knee, where you're dropping your body down and lifting your knee upward. Okay, this is a front snap kick with the knee, going forward. Okay. Same motion as this, but without the extension. Okay, now the tricky one. Try the same thing with your turning kick. Okay, so with your turning kick, try toes. You'll find it really unusual because you're so used to kicking with the ball of the foot that pointing the toes forward, you don't, of course, want necessarily to push them forward too far, but you are kicking with your toes nice and straight because you've got shoes on. Okay, so you want to keep your toes a little bit rigid, then going in this way. So try your turning kick with your toes. Ball of your foot, shin, instep, shin, knee.
And this time, what are we hitting the opponent? Where?
Yeah, same as you do with a turning kick. The instep is usually often used for the face.
Just for
Yeah.
sparring.
And also it can be used self-defense as well. You can use your instep, smash in the face. But the knee is often used for the solar plexus. But unlike the front snap kick where you think, I can't hit a solar plexus with my instep this way. I can hit a solar plexus with the ball of my foot, but I can't hit with the instep because it's going the wrong direction. But with the turning kick, you can technically hit all the same targets. It's just that some of them are more suited to particular targets. The knee for the solar plexus, but if the person's down low enough, there's no reason why you couldn't do a turning kick to the face or to the skull. But generally, you're tending to aim for the solar plexus with that. The toes as well, solar plexus is quite common where the ball of the foot might be for floating ribs. In fact, the encyclopedia, the big book, has got a lovely diagram that helps match them all up. But I remember the instep's very common for the face. Feel a difference in your foot position. Make sure you're getting the motion of your hip involved. Okay, remember to really throw that hip into your kick so you're getting the power from your body. Coordinating your hip with your foot. So your hip goes first, and then your foot has to catch up, and everything finishes together. At the moment of impact, everything's focused at the same moment. Isabel, question?
No, so
Oh, okay. Who's found that some tools feel a little bit awkward? Because we're so used to doing it with the ball of the foot that when you start thinking, okay, now I'm going to do it with my toes, it's a really uncomfortable position. Instep's usually not too bad because we do it quite a lot in free sparring. Knee feels a little bit uncomfortable. Shins, the similar motion to the instep, so it's not too bad. But the toes in particular can feel really uncomfortable because we're not used to it. And so can the knee, getting the knee into the right angle. Okay, any questions about turning kicks with different tools? Yes, please, far away.
I was about to ask, for the knee, how do we do the knee?
So it's the same motion as your turning kick with the ball of the foot. So if I'm here doing my turning kick with the ball of the foot, it comes up this way, right? My knee comes up first, and then my foot extends. It's the same thing, but without the extension of the foot. So I'm still getting the power of my hip. I'm winding this way, extending my body out, bringing my knee up on an angle, and then folding it back in. So it's this motion. It's the iliopsoas motion.
All right, thank you.
and then having that flow all the way from the ground. Tricky. Okay, now let's do a little bit with the side kick, various side kicks. So you know you've got side rising kick. Now, incidentally, for I believe all of the side kicks, your supporting foot is 75 degrees away. Side front snap kick different because it's a side front kick, not a side kick. But all your side kicks, your side rising kick, this way, side piercing kick, this way, side pushing kick, as I say, similar motion, but you make contact with your target earlier and use your strength to push them away. So it has a longer breath. Then you've got side thrusting kick, 75 degrees away, side turning kick, 75 degrees away. So for all side kicks, your supporting foot is 75 degrees away. So again, from here, side rising kick, side piercing kick, side pushing kick, side turning kick, side thrusting kick. Extending your foot forward and keeping with the ball of the foot. Go. Do a few leg hitch leg. Oh, we didn't do side checking kick. That's the friction to my rule. Side checking kick. I don't do that big pivot. Side checking kick is a block. Somebody lifting their leg and I'm blocking their leg this way. My supporting foot doesn't have to turn for this. And my leg remains slightly bent. Okay, try some variations. Anything to add, Dr. V? Or correct, please? We've got the book in front of you. Did we miss any side kicks?
No, I don't think
Checking,
so.
side rising, side piercing, side pushing, side turning, side thrusting.
Yep.
Can I ask? Sorry.
Yes.
The last kick you just showed us,
Side checking kick. Yes.
I was wondering, where do our hands go? Do we also add a punch?
No, very good question. About punching. Really, the only side kick we usually punch with is the side piercing kick. And we don't do it all the time, but we do it in a lot of our patterns. So particularly in color belt patterns, you do it in Wonyo, Yulgok, Jungun. So those early, and then in Hwarang, you do your first side kick with the hands going in the opposite direction. That's a different movement. So side piercing kick is often done with a high punch. When you start doing like double side piercing kicks, you usually hold a guarding block. You don't tend to do a high punch. And other forms of side kick, you don't do a high punch. You just form a guarding block usually. Good question. With the side piercing kick, you're accentuating the same motion, that same pierce with both the hand and the foot. But it's the only one that's piercing. So the other ones don't tend to do it.
And also one more question, sorry.
Yeah, far away.
Probably not the last one, but for a side piercing kick, when you bend your body, do you have, if you're like this and then your kick's there, does your body bend like whole way or just like half? Like
No, that's an excellent question. So with your side piercing kick, the question is how far do you lean back? You actually lean back as little as possible. Now you're not going to stay upright. That's just physically not going to work. But depending on how strong and flexible you are, it is possible to do a side piercing kick like at eye level with your body up almost upright here. I'm not strong or flexible enough to do that, so I lean over further. But generally, you don't lean over. So when you see people that are horizontal with their body doing a side kick here, that's not the goal. Once you start getting your kick up, you want to try and use your strength to lift your body up, which is why we start doing, I haven't got a good tool for this, but why you start doing exercises like this. You touch the ground and then stand up with your foot about sort of belt height, because you're building the strength up around this area. And the things that we do, like the side kick dips and things like that, you want to try and lift your body up as high as you can when you're doing those dips, just so that you're building on that strength. So you will lean a little bit. It's not possible to stay vertical, but you lean sort of as little as you can. The most important thing, though, of course, is that your body if you had your bum against the wall, your shoulders and leg would be against the wall as well. You don't have your bum sticking out like this. You want to have it in a nice horizontal plane this way, and then try and lift your body and your leg up.
All right, thank you.
Good question. Other questions? Okay. And Gaman. Okay. Very importantly, what I want us to work on in this group in particular, as we're getting senior at our ranks, any person should be able to look at any one of us and say, that's a side turning kick, that's a side piercing kick, right? Shouldn't be getting them mixed up. And you'll see a lot of junior students where they kind of look the same, where they're flicking their kicks, or even if they're stamping, they'll flick back. Make sure that you know the purpose and the method of each technique. So side piercing kick pierces, it's a stamping motion. Side turning kick flicks, it's a smashing motion, okay, using the ball of foot. So all of your kicks, make sure, don't start too high. Just work on low first and get your trajectory right so you can feel that this is going to work. I'm stamping with my side kick. This is going to work. I'm smashing with the ball of my foot with my side turning kick. You should be able to see the difference between turning kicks and side turning kicks. With your turning kick, your body's folded quite a lot and your supporting foot's pointed 45 degrees away. With side turning kick, your body's open a lot further and your foot's 75 degrees away. Right, so make sure that you can feel and really understand the differences between these kicks and demonstrate them. And then explore the different tools. As you saw tonight, front snap kick with the toes feels very different from a front snap kick with the ball of foot, which feels very different from a front snap kick with the knee. And the more range you get in your kicks, the better you'll be as a martial artist, because you will be able to kick somebody from this range without jumping away. We'll kick somebody at this range or this range, just using different tools without any other movement whatsoever. And that becomes far more effective with self-defense. Okay. Sitting down, left leg up. That was something very different tonight. Hope you enjoyed my little quiz at the start. So not as physical. Hopefully you still got something out of it. You should know now that the president of the ITF is Grandmaster Paul Weiler. The president of ITF New Zealand is Master Gray Patterson. You all know our technical director, Master Paul McPhail. You all know the founder. You all know Lake Chonji is in Baekdu Mountain, in what is now the top of North Korea. And it's a caldera. The eruption of Baekdu Mountain in 946 AD. Anyone know of another famous New Zealand lake that's a caldera? Unmute and answer.
So the tablet's like getting low, so I might disappear at some point.
Sure. You know your stretching routine. Lake Taupo, people. Lake Taupo was created by the eruption of a mountain, and I think it was about 1000 BC or something. BCE, as we call it now. I can't remember the exact date for Lake Taupo. Although I think I might have put it in our pattern history in this book. I know when I researched, I was thinking about adding it. Let's see if I can find it. I did have to drop a lot out. Oh, yes. Oh, Lake Taupo was 180 CE. So almost 2000 years ago. Okay, both legs out. Breathe in. And out. Took me about 4 days to write that pattern history, so I hope you read it. And heels in. Just while you're stretching, a couple of other books it's worthwhile keeping your eye out for. One is this. It's called A Killing Art. It's written by a journalist from the United Kingdom, and it has a really good history of Taekwondo. So it's really worth getting. A guy named Alex Gillis, sorry. United Kingdom or Canada. The other one I'm trying to find here. Here we go. If you can find a copy of this book, it's really awesome. It's written by an American named now Grandmaster Richard Mitchell. It's got the history of Taekwondo patterns from Chonji through to Chungmu. The other two really good pattern history books, I've actually got on my bookshelf in my room, so I can't pull them out now. There's one by a man named Stuart Hounslow from the United Kingdom. I think his book's called From Creation to Unification. And then the other one's by an Argentinian named Luciano Iriarte. It's From Here to Eternity. And those two books both have pattern histories from Chonji all the way through to Tonghil. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the correction, Dr. V. I can't look. Just tell me, which way does it face? So supported with Dr. V's correcting me on the foot angle. Feel free to share your screen, Dr. V, if it helps, although the angle's probably a bit hard.
No, looking at some of the pictures in the encyclopedia, the side checking kick looks like the foot is not pointing straight. It's just what's comfortable. While the pressing kick, the foot is pointing.
And that's a side kick we missed. We didn't do side pressing kick. So one of the other side kicks, side pressing kick, that's the one where your supporting foot points straight ahead, and it's designed for smashing someone's knee. So it's like a side piercing kick, just smashing down this way at knee height to try and break someone's knee joint. It's side pressing kick, supporting foot pointing straight ahead. And Dr. V saying for side checking kick, the supporting foot tends to turn, although maybe not as far as 75 degrees away. It's just whatever's comfortable. Is that what you're saying, Dr. V?
Yeah, it doesn't say in the encyclopedia.
Doesn't say, so we're just looking at photographs because it doesn't talk about the foot angle. Okay, thank you, sir. Got to get those corrections in. Okay, next part.
Yeah, I was looking for the difference between the pressing kick and the side checking kick.
And down to the middle. Side pressing kick. How could we forget that? It's one of the best kicks there is. It's awesome. If you got a bag or something at home, trying some of those kicks with different tools on the bag, really good fun. Maybe not the kicks with the toes, unless you've got some suitable shoes you can use on your bag without damaging your bag. But the shin, the instep, the knee. And legs back, standing up. Camera angle. Left leg behind. And change. Next Monday, I may be quite restricted in the space that I've got available in my room up here. So Dr. V, if you want to put some thoughts together, if you're able to, for a class on Monday, that would be super cool. Otherwise, I'll do what I can. we're just going to be assembling some wardrobes over the weekend, so we may or may not have space. Did they announce when they're going to review the status again?
We're moving into this level 3, phase 1 tomorrow.
And did they say when they were going to review it?
1 week.
Oh, in 1 week. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Change direction. Shot. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed something a little bit different tonight. I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for we'll figure out what we're going to do and hopefully make it a bit more interesting than it has been in the last, repeating the last couple of weeks. Maybe I'll pull some movements out of some senior patterns and throw that at us, or just something to be a little bit different than what we've done. I'll see how we go. But any ideas for what we can do to keep the classes interesting over lockdown are greatly appreciated. Feel free to see them through. Thanks, guys. To that. Go in. Taekwon. Hassan. See you tomorrow.
Cheers.
I'll keep working on trying to keep them interesting.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dr. V.